want to stick with Paul Barry at Media Watch because I want to stay on his case. He said a few weeks ago that he hated the way Twitter there was Twitter abuse directed at particularly female journalists, something that I've been on about in The Australian and on this station for years. And he said he was going to start calling it out. Well, since then, we've shown that female journalists in Melbourne have been mercilessly attacked online for the role they've been playing at Daniel Andrews' press conferences. That is ongoing, and Paul Barry and Media Watch have not risen to their defence again. Here they are again, some of these journalists, Sky's own Gabriella Power, Rachel Baxendale from The Australian, and Alex White, I think it is, from the Herald Sun. Have a look at their work.
She posted something on Facebook. Allegedly, she was planning a peaceful protest.
Was
is there a new policy on approaching potential protesters in this way?
Do you think it's heavy-handed?
The organisers of the Black Lives Matter protest have been charged with incitement, given that they were also planning a protest at a time when we were under restrictions. And
Rachel Baxendale and Gabriella Power there just asking the obvious questions that all Australians would want asked of Premier Daniel Andrews. Rachel Baxendale takes to Twitter to share some of the information online, saying the other day there were 113 new cases, that this keeps the daily average, 7-day average steady, that it's not great because it had been heading down. Then, of course, in come the trolls on Twitter. I'm a Unicorn says that she should be trying to be more positive, inspire others to be so. And Alistair Moore says loves a bit of fear-mongering from Rachel, not like Victorians are feeling anxious enough already. Now, that's not the most vicious abuse. We wouldn't show that again. Chris, Paul Barry has quite rightly called out the Twitter trolls against Lee Sales. Why won't he come to the defence of some News Corp journalists?
Yeah, I think probably we both know that some very senior media people around town who would see themselves of the progressive left have been hectoring and abusing Shari Markson and Miranda Devine online ever since Twitter started. So, you know, I take Rebecca's point. I think it's unfair to do this to any person, and certainly to Lee Sales as well. But I think there is also a kind of a groupthink that does involve persecuting people who are seen to be politically different from oneself. And, I mean, I would have thought one of the things about social media originally was that it should have empowered everybody to have a view and to have that view published, you know, at least on that platform. But, you know, it does seem to me that Twitter is seen as a left province, and anybody not of the left does need to be held down if you're on it. So I've always advised people not to be on it, as you know, Chris. And I think a good way to monitor what's being said about it, people on Twitter, is just to Google their Twitter feeds. You don't have to actually sign up.
That's some of the best life advice you've ever given me, Chris, and I think it might have saved my marriage.